Hey guys, it's Joe here, and I'm here with...
The Tech Master guy.
That's right, this is Alex Kretzmer. This is my friend that I keep promoting his YouTube channel. He's another tech guy. Click right there for his channel. He's really good. He knows his stuff. You're still paying me,
Don't
right?
worry, I'll be uploading a new video tomorrow, so stay tuned.
Oh, alright, so video coming up, is that Sunday, Alex? Sunday
Yep.
You're putting a video up?
Yes.
Alright. So Sunday, so that's today actually. For us it's tomorrow because today is Saturday for us, but for you guys, so you can click right there, go to his channel, see his newest video, and let's get started here because this video, this particular one right here, is about optimized applications. So, Alex, why don't you tell them exactly what we mean by optimized applications?
Applications that are optimized to take advantage of the software and the hardware.
Alright, so let's take, for example, Apple. Apple's mobile operating system is iOS. It runs on iPhones, iPads, and iPod Touches. Now, this is a pretty popular device, operating system, and one advantage to it is that since Apple is in full control, they can make it in such a way that it's very easy for users to upgrade to the most recent version. This means that the vast majority of iOS devices are running the most current version. In this case, it's iOS 7 or iOS 7.1. This makes it easier for developers to create applications for iOS because most people have the same version, which means they don't have to worry about backwards compatibility as much because the majority of their target consumers can still use the app.
Alright. And as far as Android goes, there's about 8 to 10 versions of it, depending. And most every single Android device is not running the latest and greatest, like KitKat. They're probably running Ice Cream Sandwich or some version of Jelly Bean, or something even as old as Gingerbread or Eclair. So when an app developer has to make an app for Android, he has to actually be concerned about backwards compatibility and much older hardware that is running it. There's not every phone that has the Snapdragon 800. Most lower-end phones that people usually go for have like at least 3 or 4-year-old processors that don't run apps and everything else as well as the newest one does. So it's kind of hard for an app developer for Android to make an app that's universal, that works on all devices.
Alright, so building on that, the what Alex was saying about so many different versions of Android being used, so many versions of hardware, could be older hardware, newer hardware, lots of phones are higher spec than others. For example, if you take the Galaxy Note 3 versus the Moto X or the Moto G, they're very, very different. So developers have to worry about this and make sure that it still works on the low-end hardware and the high-end hardware. And it won't necessarily work properly, so that's one struggle that developers have when they're coding for Android. Back over to Apple, that's kind of the advantage of making things for Apple, because Apple is closed source. Which one of the meanings of that is that Apple is the only manufacturer possible for iOS devices. They don't let anybody else manufacture a device that can run iOS. Google, on the other hand, makes Android, and they allow pretty much everybody to make They allow pretty much everybody to make devices that are running Android. And again, you have the issue with the high-end hardware and the low-end hardware and all those things.
Exactly. So, like, why do you think games like Asphalt 8, for example, run so well on a dual core 1.7 gigahertz on that, but it's 7 chip and 1 gigabyte of RAM? It's because what happened?
Your audio cut out.
It did?
Yeah. Say that again.
Alright, back up.
What?
It's cut out really bad.
Yeah.
We should probably just edit this part out.
There's no post in this.
Oh.
I can't.
Dang, oh.
Behind the scenes, everybody. You get to see us mess up. Alright, technical difficulties. Let's move on. We're techies. We can deal with it. Go ahead and say what you were saying again, Alex.
Alright, so like, when I think a pretty hardware-intensive game like Asphalt 8, for example, runs so well on Apple's A7 dual-core and 1 gigabyte of RAM, it's because app developers can optimize an app for the software, which is iOS 7 or 7.1, which that operating system itself is optimized for the hardware. So app developers can arrange, or they can build the app and code it to run well on some hardware, if that makes any sense. It's much easier to. Maybe we can go off that.
Right. Alright, so I think kind of what you're getting at is there are games that are designed to take advantage of the higher end hardware, where they would be able to take high advantage of 1 gig of RAM, a dual core or quad core processor, mainly quad core nowadays, and these faster processors and higher spec devices will be able to run something better than a lower end device like a Moto X, like I was saying before. Is that kind of what you were getting at, Alex?
Yeah.
All right.
I mean, first, for example, my mom just got her Moto X, and I'm pretty sure it could run Asphalt 8 just fine, but my newer hardware would run it just that much better.
Right, so developers have to take into consideration when they're developing for Android the fact that there are many versions of Android out there, and there are many devices, high-end and low-end, and in the middle, that are running Android, and there are lots of, I've talked about this in past videos, where manufacturers overlay Android with some of their own tweaks and things, which they also might need to take into consideration depending on how heavy these tweaks are that manufacturers lay over top of Android.
Exactly. Yeah, there's also a train of thought. Alright, back up. So, it sucks that there's no editing in this.
Yeah. It's alright.
Alright, back on topic.
Anything else, Alex?
I'm trying to spit it out, man. Alright, it's all going up here, but it's not.
Are you trying to talk about how, like, Apple is different from Android, or?
Well, basically, like, all processors can run games, but each one runs like a game differently, and and it'd be a real pain in the butt for an app developer to make multiple different versions of the same application for different hardware and software. There'd be about a couple thousand apps to do that, although it would make the app experience more enjoyable.
Right, and it is a lot of work for the developer to check it on every single possible processor and figure out what works and what doesn't, and my power just flickered. So, anything else to add real quick?
No.
Alright. Thank you guys so much for watching. Here is your question of the day. So guys, tell me, I've asked this last time, do you like these collabs? Should we keep doing them? What do you think of Alex? Alex, I'm going to let them rip on you a little bit. Alright, that's your question. Don't worry about what you think about the collab is. I don't care about that anymore. I want to know what you think about Alex.
2, 1. Okay, stop hating.
Alright. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'm Joe Green.
And I'm Alex Kretzmer.
And I will see you next Sunday.